But before we go there, maybe a bit about myself. My previous work experience, I was project management, looking after project controls, cost and schedule for major projects throughout the world. Started my working life in the mining industry in South Africa, built steel plants, did offshore oil drilling, went to Mauritius, built the power station, went to Egypt, built the power station, went to Jamaica, did a bauxite alumina plant expansion, back in Nigeria for a refinery upgrade, went to Russia and worked on the largest oil and gas project in the world those days, and the first LNG plant built in the Russian Federation. Then I was in Australia working on the Coal Gas project here in Queensland. Then off to Iraq, of all places. Then the oil field development and the new refinery build. And then to Algeria for oil field development as well. And then COVID hit us and that put an end to all of our international travel. And then I'm back in Australia doing this boat hard. Things I like doing, well, diving in the infamous blue hole in Dahab in Egypt, skiing in Russia, playing with wild dolphins in Egypt, riding a local taxi in Nigeria. That's the motorbike, by the way. There's a local taxi. Going to Hell. That's a place in the Cayman Islands called Hell, and you can actually send a postcard from Hell to your mother-in-law. Diving with rather large sharks is quite a thing. Sailing by boat, flying gliders in Jamaica, riding horse around pyramids in Egypt, Red Square in Moscow, Karnak Temple in Luxor, and this picture, me standing on the edge of Mount Sinai at sunrise in the Sinai Desert, where Moses allegedly got the 10 Commandments. There. All right, so why do we need smoke alarms? Well, it protects you, your family, and your assets, essentially. And it provides you the critical early warning that you need to get out of a house or building when it goes on fire. And it's proven to save lives. Plus, in Queensland, it's the law. Now, I don't know if this video is going to work. I'm going to try. Yeah. What it was is a 1-minute video that people had taken in a lounge where people had set up clothes next to a heater to dry on a clothes rack. And literally in the 1 minute, I'll try and get it to a previous, at a next meeting, and I'll put it up. It's only 1 minute, just to show you how fast it goes. The fire spreads within 1 minute, the whole room's involved. And the reason is, and that's why the next picture is there, I do have experience in fighting fires because I was a member of the mines proto team in South Africa. We used to go underground for emergencies, rescues, and putting out fires. So I have a good understanding of what a big fire is and what happens when it goes off. And basically, in this video, it takes 1 minute and the whole room is up on fire. And the biggest culprit for that is everything, all modern furniture we've got has got polypropylene products in it, like these plastic chairs. Yeah? Polyesters in clothing and stuff. All of that stuff is a petrochemical product. It's like a can of fuel. So when it goes, it really goes, and it goes quick. So that is a big problem in many houses today. So the legislation, well, it started before 2017. I think there was a fire in Brisbane area, 2014-15, the entire family were killed. After that, they brought in this new legislation. So it's kicked off before 2017. And what it said is, on the 1st of January, all new builds or substantially renovated properties must comply with the new smoke alarm requirements. We'll get to that in a minute. The next milestone is the one coming up on the 1st of January. That's for residential properties going to market. And then on the 1st of January 2027, everybody's house needs to be compliant. So what are the laws? All smoke alarms have to be replaced every 10 years. For everybody that thinks you've got a smoke alarm, electric one, that's fine. All I need to do is put a battery in it. You're wrong. You need to replace it after every 10 years. All smoke alarms must now be placed in all bedrooms and they can either be 240 volt or powered by 10-year lithium battery. It's a sealed battery unit, I'll show you. It must be installed in the hallways leading to the bedrooms and to the rest of the dwelling. If there's no hallway between the bedrooms or the rest of the dwelling, at least one alarm must be placed in the likely travel of smoke, the direction it would go. They must be photoelectric interconnected, so when one goes off, they all go off together. They wake up the dead, by the way, when you set them all off. They must comply with the Australian standard and operate and test them. So if you get there and you test them and they don't work, you've got to remove it and replace it immediately. As a side thing, it's come to attention saying that if you have a study or a rumpus room that you can close, people who have converted garages into rooms and stuff, they too need to have smoke alarms. Anywhere where anybody can be sleeping needs to have a smoke alarm installed as well. So depending on your house layout, you could be up to 8, 10 alarms. It just depends. This is what we see in Queensland now when I'm installing alarms. Alarms there needed to be replaced by 2009. Replaced by 2013, 2019. And then there's ones that are just standalone, but they're not photoelectric and they're not interconnected. So people have a false sense of security when it comes to smoke alarms. So who's it going to affect now? Rentals and sales. This is a discussion Campbell and I had last week. So first off, on the rental, the REIQ, currently they're not going to accept any rentals if there's not compliance with smoke alarm, according to the new legislation. As for sales, I contacted Queensland Fire and Emergency Services and spoke with their compliance officer. For part of the property transfer, you need to complete this Form 24. And down here, says, are the smoke alarms compliant? As the owner of the property, you are obligated to make sure that the property is compliant. You cannot pass the obligation on to the buyer. And that comes from the Queensland Fire and Safety Help people. So, and that the email would have confirmed that. As far as the register is concerned, there's no actual register of properties that are compliant. It's up to the owners to make sure that they're compliant, to keep their own records for insurance purposes, obviously. And if asked, you can prove that you've got your compliance. And those are basically, that is the law as it stands at the moment. Here, just to show you an example. A typical 240 volt power smoke alarm. And here are the wireless ones. So, for instance, if you install it in your house, you don't have to pull cables all the way through to your bedroom. You'd install one of these. These would go where the existing smoke alarms are. This talks to this. So when one goes off, they'll all go off. And you get a little controller that you can test them and silence them with. So if there's a false alarm, you can switch it off. And if this button's flashing, it means there's one that's still got a problem. You go and investigate what the problem is.
No, but they just have a snooze button for the hour.
I was.
That'd work. 10 more minutes. Is that,
yeah. One of the houses I was in doing smoke alarms on Monday, they had one alarm in this entire house, a double-story house. They converted the garage into rooms as well. There's a sunroom at the end of the top level that converted that into a bedroom, and the 4 bedrooms inside the house. That the smoke alarm was at the top of the stairs going up. I said to the guy, okay, how old is it? No, I don't know. I took a battery in about 2 years ago. It's all good. Okay, fine. Get up there, take it off. The thing just virtually fell off the ceiling. There was no battery in it. And they'd taken the inside, the mechanism out. It was just a shell. They've been renting the house for 12 years. And that was it. Luckily, the owner of the house decided to put smoke alarms in. Otherwise, the whole house could have went up. These people are hoarders. There were boxes, plastic crates full of stuff. The whole place was just packed up with these crates of stuff. It was like, oh. I thought if there's a fire in here, it's a disaster. So that's it, people. That's the law. That's the requirement.